Phew! How-to video time. That means it's time for me to show you how to make something, anything. And this week, we're gonna make short crust pastry with and without a food processor, because not everyone has a food processor. So don't worry guys, I've got your back. Let's make it. What is short crust pastry? It's a good question. So I like to think of short crust pastry as pie pastry. So you can use it for anything from quiches to pies to tarts. It's really the base of any filling and it's great for sweet and savory. Typically, the ingredients are flour, butter, salt, and cold water. But today, I'm gonna make a sweeter French version, which has eggs and sugar inside. Let's start with the food processor. Place the flour into the food processor and follow with the icing sugar. Add in your butter and pulse until it resembles coarse sea sand. Crack in an egg and pulse until evenly combined. Milk time! Just a little splash. Place onto a floured surface, form into a ball, and wrap it in plastic. So that's short crust pastry in a food processor, done. This goes into the fridge to chill, ready to use for whatever recipe you want. Next up, time to get dirty. We're gonna use our hands. Can you see how excited I am about this? If you don't have a food processor, don't despair. This recipe is actually a little bit more fun, a little bit more tricky, but you're gonna have a good time doing it. First up is our flour. Tip the flour out into a clean surface or into a bowl. Add sifted icing sugar to the flour. Butter time! This is my top tip. Listen up. You want icy cold butter and a grater. You're gonna grate this into your flour. I know, it's crazy, but it makes such a big difference when it comes to rubbing it in later. So dunk your butter into your flour. That just prevents it from sticking to your grater and grate. Keep dunking it in, then it'll stop it from sticking. Kind of looks like cheese. So now you're gonna rub the butter into the flour until it reaches sort of a coarse sea sand texture. So just keep rubbing fast through your fingers so that your hands don't warm up the butter too much. So make a well into the middle, crack the egg into there, and just use a fork to work it into your flour. At this point, add a splash of milk and continue to mix the flour with your wet ingredients. You don't want to overmix. At this point, just get it to a ball. And that's how to make short crust pastry with and without a food processor. Easy, hey? Now, if you want to find out what happens to the short crust pastry, go to goodlookingcooking.com and you'll find a peach-alicious peach pie. Yum. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.